Hey guys, it's Matt with Contractor Hub. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about moving jobs through the workflow, different phases, different milestones, different statuses, how to get them, into the next step of your workflow specific to you. So everybody's workflow is a little bit different depending on how we set it up during onboarding. But we're going to look at a very generic way to do it today. And it's going to be super, super easy for you to understand. There's a couple different ways, again, to do it. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So first things first is I'm going to be in a specific project detail. So this is one of the first ways that we can move a status. So we're looking at this project. This is a new project that we just set up. For instance, we could change the name and we could say Parks Properties Building Number 2. And I misspelled it, but you get the point. ROPERTIES. And if we have a bid close date, whatever, we can have that set. But this is a commercial job that is a retail replacement job. And I need to move this. This just came in as a new lead. So my specific workflow in the commercial retail replacement jobs are going to be, we've got a new lead, then we maybe do a site visit. We go to needs estimate. That estimate gets sent. There are follow-ups that are done. And then if there's, or potentially it came in as a new lead and it needs to jump directly to warranty, it can do that as well. So in this instance, we're going to say, all right, we have this new lead. Now it's time for the site visit. So what are we going to do? We can just easily click that site visit. It's going to pop up a little pop-up saying, hey, let's make some notes. Do we want to notify anybody that we are moving the status? So we're going to say, okay, we're going to say scheduled this appointment. And maybe I want to notify somebody in the office. I'm just going to notify myself and say, I'm going to move that status. So now it's going to date, time, and tag that status as moved into site visit. So at that point, there could be some automations that you have in there, but that's not the point of this video. We just want to show you how to move the jobs through the workflow. So now say we could automatically, or this job is already in a estimate sent status. I'm just going to move it now just to show you what this would look like. So we just got a call back from the customer and the customer says, you know what, I'm ready to move forward. I just signed the proposal. I'm ready to get this job on the road. So we can do one of two things. We can either move it directly into an approval status. So I can click at the top. You'll notice these are milestone phases. So we've got a lead phase, we've got an approval phase, we've got an in production, we've got completed, we've got invoiced, and then we've got closed. So this status is now we're needing to move this from lead to approval. So I can just click approval and we're going to say, all right, we've submitted this for manager review, and we're going to move that into the approval status. And so you'll notice it says moved to sold. So now that job is in a sold approval process. Now, depending again on your workflow, it may be a little bit different. You may have a submit for approval where it needs to go to a manager to get approved. And once it gets approved after the sold status, it needs to go to maybe a project handoff where it goes from sales to production. And there are steps that are involved in that. Every company is different. You may have a very simple process. Other people may have a very detailed process. So this one's a very simple one. We just moved it to an approval status. We notified the manager that it has been moved into that status, and now we've got it and sold. Now I'm going to show you the second way to move statuses of buildings. So once we are in, you can do this in your project Kanban chart. So if I wanted to look at all workflows, for instance, I can say, all right, we've got this lead that's sitting in the new lead status. It's Parks Property Management. Maybe I need to go ahead and move this job to needs estimate, estimate sent, or site visit. I can just click and drag it over to site visit. Same pop-up's going to happen. It's going to say, do you want to add any notes about what's happening during this phase? Why did it move to this status? Maybe customer called back, or maybe we scheduled an appointment. We can click these quick notes up here. And then we'll just say move lead. And now it's just going to move it into that status. So that's the second easy way to move it into a status. So those are the biggest things that you can do. You can also do one last final way is if you open a job is you're going to notice there's going to be an advanced status button. So if I'm in, for instance, this, I'm sitting here in production status, I want to advance this status and say, all right, we just want to move it to maybe pre-start meeting, and we'll move it from there. So we can advance a status from the button. We can advance it from some of these phase steppers up here at the top, or the actual status, the detail status that we want it to move into, or we can move it on the Kanban chart, and just by clicking and dragging it to a different status. That's just about it, and that's how you move a status around in ContractorHUB. Got any questions, feel free to reach out. Happy to show you a little bit more. If you're not yet a ContractorHUB customer and you want a demo, be happy to show you a demo as well. So anyways, good to see you, and we will see you guys on the next video.